What's going on, y'all? Crow back here, back in Crow's back room. How you doing? Today we finally got. Sorry, there, drinking my Pib Extra. Not a sponsor, but we finally got the answer part of the video of the Q&A. This is finally the A, and we have more than 6 questions, but we only have 6 different individuals that asked questions. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for asking questions, and again, one question was so good, I'm actually not going to answer it in this video. I'm going to make it its own video, so hopefully that's even better than just answering it. You know what I mean? We'll get to that last, I guess. But let's go ahead and pack a dip before we start. We gotta do this thing right, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But Grizzly and Long Cut Premium Wintergreen, how you doing? Not sponsored. Go ahead and give it a good old side pack there. Maybe even a little Crow pack. Got that little dip. And of course we're going to need a mud jug. But yeah, the Q&A video turned out better than I thought it would. I thought I was going to have to do the Q part and then sit for months. But I got a decent amount of questions. I was looking for, 10 questions at least. I might have over that. Let's get this dip situated. Spitting in the Chris Dips one, Ruddy. Ruddy. I got a Canadian accent on the end of that. Alright, first person. And a shout out, of course, this is a shout out nonetheless because I'm saying their names. But Berg's Dipper Views, great YouTube dipper. How you doing, man? I appreciate the question. He said, oh yeah, before I even say it, 2 other people asked the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say Zach Lafleur also asked this question, and I think that was it. He's the only person that asked this as well. But what's your channel name stand for? And this is a 2-part question, but I'm going to answer the first part. What's your channel name stand for? My channel name is Wayside Lee 83. It derived from my Xbox and PlayStation username, but that became about from my username was Lee83, and Lee being my middle name. I'll go ahead and let y'all know that Lee is my middle name, named after Bruce Lee, the greatest of all time. But no joke on that, my dad did that on purpose. But also the 83, it was my football jersey number when I played football in 5th and 6th grade. After that, I moved on to basketball. Realized I loved basketball a lot more. Not that I hate football though. Still love it. But what's your channel name stand for? All right, so I got the Lee 83. That was my username. But when I tried to make it a username on Xbox Live back in 2010, it was taken. But it said, do you want to be Wayside Lee 83? So I looked up what Wayside meant, and that just means something on the side of the road, or just to be about the side of the road. And I was like, well, that does kind of explain me, because at the time I didn't have a car, so if I was going somewhere, I was walking to the store, walking to the park, walking wherever, walking to someone's house to mow their yard, because that's what I used to do. I pretty much started my own mowing business for a little while. but that was a long time ago. And yeah, it all started in 2010. Wayside Lee 83. Lee 83 I made up. Xbox gave me the Wayside, and I'm sure they've given other people the name Wayside before, because someone actually called me out on it when I was playing Call of Duty one time. But he was like, you can't even make up your own name, you had Xbox make it for you. And I thought that was pretty funny. But I like Wayside Lee 83. It's a nice name. I've stuck with it. I think it's catchy. It rhymes. But Lee 83 rhymed anyway. But yeah, that's what it stands for. My middle name, football jersey number, and you used to catch me on the side of the road, so that's where all that started. He also asked, with Two Wheels Dipper 98, shout out, they asked the same question, when did you start dipping? To go into detail, I didn't start dipping like constantly till I was 19, but my first dip I was 10. And I only dipped once. It was a tiny little bit of Skull Apple. It was like a baby pinch. I felt the nicotine but didn't get sick, and that's weird when I was 10. But Skull Apple is what saved me, I guess. But then I dipped Kayak Grape when I was 14 and 15. Got sick both times. Didn't touch it again until I was 19. And started with Camel Snooze and worked my way up. And that's how I started dipping. And Two Wheels Dipper 98 also asks, who inspired you to do YouTube? And that goes right back to Berg's Dipper Views. And also the Gimmies, Outlaw, Mudjug 1, and Jesse Ryan. They always been dipping on YouTube. I watched them back in the day, even when I didn't dip. But then I moved on, or didn't move on. I started watching Winning 10 Outdoors, shout out, back when he was full review. But Winning 10 Outdoors is his channel name now, and he does the same old reviews. It's still good. I look up to those guys, still do. And now that I talk to them in the comments all the time, I think that's pretty awesome. Not Outlaw, Mudjug, and Jesse Ryan, but the other guys. Also NC Dipper 98, or I think it was, but now he's NC Talk Sports. I don't think he makes videos anymore, but I also watched him at the time before I started making videos of my own. That's really all the people I can think of that inspired me to do dip reviews. But also alcohol reviews, Cult Moo, Reckless Eating, a couple other like redneck alcohol review channels. I forgot their names. I'm not even sure if I'm subscribed to them. But I only had to watch a few of their videos to realize I could do that, or at least attempt. But alright, that's the first two people. Third person, Amy W. asked why Crow. Crow is my nickname given to me by my friend J-Man. He's been in the video before. We were drunk one night. We were probably underage at the time. I guess I was like 18 or 17, something like that. And Crow is just my last name cut in half, pretty much. And that's where Crow derives from. So now y'all know my middle name and a hint to my last name. I'm giving out my my real name on accident here. But she also asked, will you do wine reviews? You know, eventually I will. That'll open up my channel to a whole new playlist, I guess. Wine reviews will definitely make it on this channel, no doubt. And she also asked, what's the best WWE sign I ever seen? And I would have to say it was a sign that said woo, but it was, you know, a couple W's and a bunch of O's, and you had to have like the whole, like 2 rows or 3 rows of people hold the sign. And I didn't see this in person, I saw it on TV, but this is back when Ric Flair was still wrestling. I guess this is during the Evolution era, or back when Evolution was still together, Batista, Triple H, Randy Orton, Ric Flair. And yeah, it was a sign where you had to probably ask a bunch of random people, hey, pass this down, hold it please, everybody hold it up. But that took a lot of work to make and hold up, so I give them props. I was at the show not too long ago on Monday, last Monday, and I only held up my signs a couple times before I accidentally hit the guy in front of me a couple times, and he started getting mad, so I just put my signs down at that point, didn't touch him again. Number 4, Zach L. He also asked any other social medias. I don't have a Facebook, I don't have a MySpace. Only other thing I have that's social is Xbox and PlayStation. Go ahead and send me a friend request. It's also Waysidely83. And will I ever use my real name as my YouTube name, or just use my real name in my videos? I already use my middle name. I use half of my last name. I don't feel like I need to use my first name. I don't want to give out all my info, you know. So sorry, Zach. Long time viewer. I appreciate you viewing every video. But I'm not going to use my real name, especially not my first name. Even though I like my first name and all, I have no problem with it. But just don't want to use my real name, you know. Want to keep things safe, or at least try to. Dirty Pat Walsh, shout out to him. Love him playing the guitar and harmonica. Inspires me to play more of the bass. He asked, what's my favorite dip / alcohol combo in the back room, Crow's back room? And I kind of went into detail here. I said if I want a dip alcohol combo that's like, I don't want to get drunk, I just want to lay back, enjoy the night, whatever. Don't want to get too tipsy. I'll drink Samuel Adams, and to go with that, Kodiak Wintergreen just seems like the right combo. And which Samuel Adams? I guess just Boston Lager to be natural. But if it's seasonal, we'll go with the Oktoberfest and the Kodiak Wintergreen. But Samuel Adams nonetheless. But if I want to get messed up, if I want to get tore up, I go with the Senators Club and some Grizzly Wintergreen. And the last question is from St. Anthony. This is the best question. He said, what are your top 10 wintergreens? And I'm guessing he just means dips. So I really had to think about this one. And I have the top 10 wintergreens that I've chosen. A few of them I could go back and forth on, but I just went ahead and gave them a number. And that's the question I'm not going to answer here today. I'm going to make it its own video that's going to be coming up soon. Yeah, top 10 wintergreen dips. Just wintergreen, no other flavors. And yeah, some brands are good, but their wintergreen I wouldn't go to immediately. So my list is kind of weird. And thank you again, St. Anthony. I'm going to make your question its own video. Thank you everybody for the Q&A. And I'll see you in the next one. Crow out.